It is time to love yourself, to respect yourself, to admire yourself, to forgive yourself, to accept yourself, and to nurture yourself. That's what today's practice is. Today's the day, now's the time. You're going to nurture yourself. This is a 1-hour nurturing practice. This is your restorative practice. We do a restorative practice every Thursday and every Sunday. I'm Jan. This is your yoga from home. This is 316 yoga is what we call it. And this is a time for you. Just take this time. We've set it aside 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. You think that's a long time, but in restorative class, it flies by. But take this time, be it 1 hour, be it 10 minutes, whatever it is, take some time to love yourself, to restore yourself, to rejuvenate, to regenerate, to do all that good stuff, to revitalize yourself. We all need it. All right, grab your props. Don't delay. Let's start. Bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Don't hurt yourself. Lots of ways you can hurt yourself in yoga. If something doesn't feel right, back out of it. If you're experiencing pain, don't do it. If it's just uncomfortable, breathe through it. And that's kind of what this practice is. You nestle in, you get your mind out of your body. That's hard to do, isn't it? But just breathe through it, and I'll tell you about that more in a second. But set up your props. All right, so I've got my 2 blocks set up like an L, and I've got my bolster on top of it. If you don't have any of these props, buy them this weekend. But grab a pillow and just come into what's called your child's pose. All right, so lots of ways to take this. You can have your knees long if your knees don't feel good. Your legs long if your knees don't feel good. You've got this set up here, and if you're going to bring your chest to this bolster, and if the bolster's just too far away, put a blanket on top of it. Fold the blanket over a bunch of times and rest here. All right, so a little bend in your knees if that feels better, but just get comfortable. And maybe your chest isn't touching the bolster quite yet, but we're just going to give it some time, and it will. All right, so bend your knees is another option. Sit back on your heels for a moment or two. Nice stretch in the quads, nice stretch for the knees if that feels all right. Let's do it. All right, so come on down and rest here. We're going to stay here for 5 minutes. That seems like a long time, but it's going to give you an opportunity to get out of your head, to calm the restlessness in your mind, and just nestle in. So set up your setup however you want it to be, and find peace. Settle on down. Let your chest come into your bolster. Arms wherever you like. Don't worry about them. Maybe have your head resting on one cheek, or maybe you've got your forehead on your bolster, or you're on the other side. We're going to turn your head when we're about halfway through to just let that neck relax. So rest here. A couple deep breaths in through your nose and big breaths out through your mouth. Sigh it out, make it audible. Shoulders away from the ears. All that matters now is this quiet little time on your mat. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Make the most of this time that you've already committed to being here. So focus on the breath. Big breath in through the nose. Big slow sigh out of the mouth. When you're ready, you can close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only if that's comfortable for you. This is called your Ujjayi Pranayama breath. It allows you to focus more deeply inward. Hardest part is to calm the mind. Try not to think thoughts about what you're going to do next or what you didn't do that you should have done. Let it go. Focus only on the breath. I promise those thoughts will come back to you when you get off your mat, but just make the most of this time on your mat and focus on you and your breath. Eyes are closed, deep breath in, deep breath out. And as you're ready, if you've had your head on one cheek, it is time to turn the other cheek. Turn your head in the opposite direction. Embrace the silence and the time of doing nothing. Take a really deep breath in. Really feel it expand out your entire back. Really full lungs. Embrace that little pause that naturally happens at the top of the inhale, and then take your full, deep, slow exhale. Do it again and really be in the breath. Third time's the charm. Let's do it one more time. Now that's some nice deep breathing. You can stay here longer in this variation of your child's pose if you like. Stay in a pose however long you like. You don't have to do all the poses. Do what is speaking to your body today. I'm going to move into a pose where I'm just going to flip around here. And I'm going to bring my blanket, maybe my eye shade with me. And we're going to bring our bottoms up next to this setup we've got. Bend your knees, soles of the feet touch, maybe if that feels good. Bring your blanket to your belly, your thighs, whatever feels good. And then cover your eyes, if you like, for this little bound angle pose. All right, we're going to do another 5 minutes here. In a restorative practice, the one we're doing today where you nurture your body, we stay in poses longer, 3, 5, 7, 10, 20 minutes even. Whatever speaks to you, you decide. Arms down by your side. Maybe palms face up to, fully externally rotate your shoulders as opposed to palms down. But if palms down feels good, do that instead. And your legs, I've got mine in this cobbler-like pose with the soles of the feet touching and the knees open wide. If that doesn't feel so great, you can always straighten your legs too. This pose is more about your chest opening here. You're encouraging that nice low back curvature. You're taking nice big full deep breaths in to fill your lungs and full deep breaths out. All right, here's the word that you might want to put in your head for later. It's happy, and happy means to be delighted, to be pleased, to be happy, to be glad, just to be really joyous over a particular thing. Let that particular thing today be your yoga and how it makes you feel in your body. All right, so enjoy your pose here. Deep breaths only. And find your peace for this 5 minutes. Deepen your breath. And with your deep exhale, let your shoulders melt away more from your ears. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. And find softness. Deepen your breath. Such a nice pose to externally rotate your hips. You can feel that. To externally rotate the shoulders, you feel that too. And to just open up your chest to allow you to breathe better. And to just feel like your whole trunk, all of your organs are just, they have space and fully functioning. Take one more deep breath in. And a deep, full breath out. Maybe you need more of this today. I don't know. You know, though. If you want to stay here longer, do it. Don't feel that you have to go on and do anything else. You're doing your yoga at home. You're doing your yoga your way. The next pose I'm going to move into is my pentacle pose. I'm going to bring my knees together at the midline of my body. And I'm just going to roll off of this setup. And I'm going to scoot the blocks and the bolster and blocks aside. Just move them aside. Come into your pentacle pose. So that pose is the one where you just send your body to look like a big capital letter X. Arms go high overhead and then spread them out. We're going to do 3 minutes here in your pentacle. Arms high overhead, legs spread wide. Blanket, keep it if you want. Eye shade, keep it if you want. Soften in the jaws, soften in the shoulders. Just let the earth support you. Your back is nice and straight. Your body, you just feel like you're at total equilibrium. And if it doesn't feel good in your shoulders, bring your arms down a little bit or a lot. Whatever feels good to just have this nice flat back on your mat. Let the world go away. Focus on you, your breath, and the peace inside of you. You might even want to tell yourself, I am at peace. Over and over again. Let that be your meditation. I am at peace. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Deepen your breath. Be totally still. Soften in your eyes. Soften in your throat. Take a deep breath in. Let that be all that matters right now. And a deep, slow, full breath out. Let it go. This is your pentacle pose. Hopefully you felt the tension kind of just go away. If you want to stay here longer, go ahead and do it. I'm going to lift my arms up, just kind of let them float on up. Feel how heavy they are. Roll over onto one side or the other and come on up to a seated position. Bring your blanket with you because that's what you're going to use next. All right, how are you feeling? Did you take a stress number in the beginning? We usually do that on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's going on? The number's coming down, that's for sure. All right, fold your blanket however many times you want. I sometimes say fold it like a burrito. You got that image? I think I'm going to fold it a little bit less today. I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it behind my calves. I'm going to scoot it on up behind my knees as best I can, and then I'm going to have a seat back on my heels. Now, the tops of my feet are on the mat. We'll go into a quasi-toes pose in a little bit, but for right now, keep the tops of your feet on your mat. So you're going to sit back in that thunderbolt-like pose, but this is a nice little stretch for your calves. So hands on your thighs, close your eyes. I'm going to do 3 minutes here. Now, I don't know how intense this is for you on the calves. Maybe you need to open up your blanket a little bit more, or maybe you might want to fold it a little bit more to intensify it a little bit. You decide what's the right way for you today. Hands to your thighs, soften in your shoulders, close your eyes, and just be. Don't worry about doing, just be. And you know, if it becomes painful at any time, come on out of it. But if it's just uncomfortable, maybe move your bottom a little bit from side to side and just kind of enjoy that gentle calf massage. Some of us have such sensitive calves, but consider this is working on your foundation too. Your feet, your ankles are getting a nice stretch here. Calves are enjoying the movement and the pressure. Settle in. Breathe deeply. And be at peace. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, your foot has been in that plantar flexion. You've been getting that nice massage of the calf. Let's pop up onto the toes, bringing the toes towards the shins, and let's take a toes pose here. All right, it's intense, isn't it? All right, so let's sit back. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes again, but you come out of it if it becomes uncomfortable to the point of pain. Maybe you hinge a little bit forward if that feels good, and just settle in here. Hello to Lynn, to Stan, to Tammy, to Betty, to Tyrone, to Lisa, to Kelly, to Margarita, to Marietta, to Leslie, to Sylvia, to Ellen. I'm glad you guys are here. Shoulders back and down. Nestle in. Don't forget your pinky toe. Maybe move a little bit like you did earlier, a little bit from side to stretch the toes out. Breathe in, breathe out. Deep breaths. Soften your jaws. Soften the area between the eyebrows. Think of creating space in your feet. This is tough, I know. Breathe deeply. A little bit of weight out of the toes for a breath or two might help, and then come back into it. But remember, if it's painful, come out. If it's just uncomfortable, stick with it. You got about a minute to go. Less than half a minute, 30 seconds. Maybe that's 2 big cycles of breath. When you're ready, let's come out of this. Come to a neutral tabletop. You can leave that blanket there or remove it. It's up to you. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle your ankles this way and that. Tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. And let's go back to pentacle pose. Remove your blanket if you haven't already done so. Come onto your back. Legs go long. Arms high overhead. You know the drill. Maybe cover your eyes if you like. Arms go high overhead. Stretch it out in a capital letter X shape. Maybe wiggle your toes. Whew, let it go. Let your pinky toe fall toward the earth. Come to just the breath in your belly as it rises and falls. And your breath stays deep. And your mind is at peace. Deep breath in. And your deep breath out. Feel all of that earth beneath you, just supporting you and keeping your back nice and straight. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Stay longer if you like, or bring your feet together at the midline of your body. Roll on over and come on up to a seated position. Take it nice and slow, no rush, no hurry. Life is fast enough. Send your legs long onto your mat. Find your bolster and bring it onto your thighs. This feels really good. The weight of it feels really good. And if it doesn't feel really good, modify it. You could use just the blanket on your thighs. You could slip the rolled up burrito blanket underneath your knees. Just make it right. Blanket can be on top of the bolster. We're going to do caterpillar pose. All right, so this is the one where you push the bolster up towards your belly at the end. Lengthen up through your spine. That's an important part. And then fold over and rest on the bolster. All right, so this one. Let's go for 5 minutes. Rest here. All right, the bolster may seem really far away. Just let gravity do its thing. And let time do its thing. Inhale, lengthen up, close your eyes. Exhale, fold a little more forward. And you don't have to be resting on it quite yet. You'll get there. With each inhale, your spine is getting longer. Imagine that. And with each exhale, you're hollowing out your belly, letting your belly button go back to your back. And you're letting your chest come closer and closer to your bolster setup here. Work your forehead down to your bolster. And just let go of the tension in your body, the doubt in your mind, and just be. Just be. As it becomes more and more comfortable to recline, maybe you move the blanket a little bit away or remove it from your bolster. But no rush, no hurry. Let it come naturally. Length and decompression in your spine, softness in your shoulders, rest for your chest on the bolster. Deep breath in. Full breath, complete surrender, letting your body go. Let it go. Full exhale. Now don't judge. So easy to judge, isn't it? So easy and simple to judge ourselves and be harsh on ourselves. But just assess, observe where you are as far as your chest is and your bolster setup. I think you'd be surprised at how far you've come in just that 5 minutes. Just let it be. The more you just let the body relax into itself and get the mind out of the way, that's the hard part, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the more the stress comes down. The more the stress comes down, the better you feel in your head, and you're just way better off. All right, come on back up. Slowly come on up. It is time to go to the wall to do your legs up the wall. If you don't want to make your way to the wall, you could use just a chair. Scoot your bottom up near the bottom of the chair, bend your knees and drape your calves that we worked, drape your calves onto the seat of the chair. That works too. She thinks it's time to end. All right, so bring your eye shade or your towel, maybe your bolster or your blanket, or, nothing at all works too. Make your way to your wall or, your chair, whatever you want to do. And then bring a hip next to the wall. Pretty soon we'll have a new wall. All right, bring your hip up next to the wall. Swing your legs on up to the wall. Maybe you've got the blanket underneath you. Maybe that feels good. Maybe you cover up with the blanket. Maybe you just got the blanket under your shoulders. So many options. But the big thing you want to do here, send your legs up the wall. Don't have them at a perfect 90-degree angle. You want a little bit of a bend there. You want to feel your tailbone in the ground. So you know how we do cat-cow pose other days? Really push your tailbone down, down, down to the mat, to the floor, whatever you've got going on. Draw your toes towards your shins, arms wherever you like. They can be teed out, down kind of like a Shavasana pose. Kind of fun to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly to focus on your breath and your heartbeat. You decide what's good for you in this moment. All right, I'm going to set a timer for we'll be here about 8 minutes. Draw your toes towards your shins, and if you got the bolster, you might want to bend your legs and bring the bolster onto the tops of your feet. Send the bolster on back up. It's a little bit of a balancing act. Draw the toes towards your shins and enjoy that weight on your feet. It allows you to keep your tailbone down on your mat. If you like it, go for it. If not, take it simply with nothing at all. Breathe in, breathe out. Eyes can be covered or not. And just allow some deep relaxation in your legs. Slow the heart down. Help with conditions like fibromyalgia and insomnia. You'll sleep better at night if you do this a little bit before you go to bed, instead of scrolling on your phone. Be at peace and enjoy the pose. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. I'll let you know when the time is up. Deepen your breaths. Soften your shoulders. And relax the muscles in your face. Deepen your breath. Soften your shoulders. Relax the area between your eyebrows a little bit more. Take a deep breath in and a super slow breath out. This is your legs up the wall pose. Stay here longer if you like. If your low back is starting to get to you a little bit, maybe just bend your knees slightly and bring the soles of your feet onto the wall. That's a nice variation too. If you'd like to come out of the pose, roll off the wall the way you came in, one hip or the other. Maybe stay here for a second or two in a fetal position if you like. I'm going to make my way back to my mat for the final Shavasana pose. All right. So for final Shavasana, lots of ways you can do this. You can lie down on your back with nothing at all, but maybe your eye shade or your towel to cover your eyes. Always nice to block out the light. You can cover your blanket with the blanket, whatever you like. Feet, calves, your entire body. That feels nice too. You could place the blocks underneath your feet to slightly elevate your legs. Just kind of alleviate some tension in the low back. You could also bring, one I'm particularly fond of, is bringing the bolster underneath the knees. So like I said, from nothing at all to any combination that feels really good for you. You almost want to feel like your body is just suspended and weightless and just feeling awesome. Cover your eyes. I know several of you like to put the towel underneath your neck. You do what you like. All right. This is our final Shavasana pose. We're going to rest here for about 5 minutes. Arms down by your sides. palms up or down. Try them both, see what you think. It is said that palms up helps you feel receptive to new things and just opening up to fresh beginnings. It is said that palms face down help you feel more grounded, more stable, more supported. Do what you need to do today. Deep breaths. Mind relaxed. I am at peace. No thoughts quite yet. Just your breath. Softness in your body. And just deep breaths. Two minutes left here. Really try to let go of everything. Just be at peace. Now's the time. Give it a go. Just breathe and release any tension. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out, maybe sighing it out through your mouth. Do another cycle of breath like that, whatever's comfortable for you to just let any residual tension go. All right, nice and relaxed we are. Maybe you choose to stay here longer, just a few more minutes. It's not that much time. If you have a remote control nearby and you want to hit pause, stay here as long as you like. If it's time for you to wrap up your practice and get on with your day, start to bring refreshing little wiggles back into your fingers and your toes. Ooh, especially your toes. They need it after that toes pose, don't they? Wiggle your wrists, your ankles, get life back in those limbs. On an inhale, reach high up overhead and stretch it out, good and strong, stretch. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, roll any props aside, just kick them aside, and then roll onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Soften in the top shoulder. Savor the breath here. Big breath in, and a big breath out. Slowly float on up using your hands or not. Come on up to a comfortable seated position. Hands to prayer center in a moment of gratitude to your body, to you for taking the time out to be here. Press into your hands, press your thumbs into your chest, soften in your shoulders and lengthen up through your spine. Breathe in and then breathe out. Soften into the hips. Appreciate that ground that supports you. Open your eyes. There you go. You did it. 1 hour long yoga. If you took a stress number in the beginning or somewhere along the way in your practice, come back to that number. What was it and what is it now? I hope you're feeling calmer and more at peace. I'm glad you took the time to be here. And remember, it's always time to love yourself, respect yourself, admire yourself, forgive yourself, accept yourself, and nurture yourself. Today's the day. Every day's the day. See you on your mats tomorrow. I love you guys. Check out our group, Friends of 316 Yoga, on Facebook. I have something fun to tell you. Love you guys. Bye. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Bye. Good girl. Yes, you are. Good girl. Good girl. Yoga's good on you. You finished another practice. Awesome job. What can you leave on your mat today? After every practice this week, what can you leave on your mat that just isn't serving you anymore? Focus on the good, be happy, and leave the other stuff behind. Our practice, you're here. It's free for anybody and everybody. Tell your friends about our practice. Everybody can benefit from the yoga. It's all good. If you'd like to support our broadcast, check out our website. It's www.316.com. See you on your mats tomorrow, and leave all the other stuff behind that doesn't serve you well. You deserve that. See you tomorrow.